Słuchają Państwo środowego poranka dwójki, dziś 19 kwietnia i dziś w Filharmonii Narodowej wyjątkowe wydarzenie. Jane Birkin wraz z Polską Orkiestrą Radiową. Jane Birkin jest naszym gościem. Good morning.
Hello.
It's very important for us, for Polish Radio Orchestra evening. You will present a material songs from new album Birkin Gainsbourg Symphonique. And I have an impression that it's a very fresh album.
It's because of the orchestrations done by Nobuyuki Nakajima, who's Japanese and is a great writer for movies, for films. So he's brought something to Serge's melodies that are intriguing. And between the songs that in France we know so well, he's brought in something else which is even like an American comédie musicale. Mm-hmm. And given that the orchestra is the Warsaw Radio Orchestra, it's so beautifully played. It's the admiration of the French that have listened to it, and even the English, for I've just come from England. And because of the beautiful production of what it is. So thanks to all of them, yes, it's brought something fresh and very romantic and very... something quite nostalgic and sad, but beautifully sad, like Gustawa Mahlera sad.
Yes, I think it's there is an album, a kind of film dramaturgy.
Exactly.
But this album opens with Lost Song, and you just said a word nostalgia. But do you think inside this material make you a sad?
No, well, I think I've understood the words even better now than maybe when I sang them for the first time. And Lost Song is a particularly, yes, I suppose sad, but something so melancholic and so about breaking up, in fact, is what it is. And it's one of the last songs that Serge ever wrote me. So it's done on the music for Grieg, which is one of the reasons why I wanted to do this, all Serge's songs, but in with a Philharmonic, was because he'd written so often on melodies that are Chopin or Brahms, like Jane B is Chopin, which is the first thing he ever wrote me, and it's because of his great love of classical composers, especially Chopin, maybe, that I think he would have loved these orchestrations and loved the drama and the beauty of the way it's been orchestrated and performed here in Warsaw.
Yes, we can tell that this album is French and Polish because album was recorded here in Warsaw. Why did you decide to do this album here and record?
A coincidence at the beginning, because I should have gone to China. And we were due to make a live record in Shanghai, having done the premiere in Canada, where I'd been asked to do this symphonique. And I wasn't allowed to go because they refused my visa, because of the Dalai Lama, no doubt, and my position with Aung San Suu Kyi in Burma. So we couldn't go to China, and our next date was here, with Michał Klauser being the chef d'orchestre and the orchestra of the Radio Warszawie. And in Paris, there's a very well-known studio where I've often recorded with Blanc-Foncart. And he said there's just the most wonderful orchestra, and especially for classical music, of course. And he said, why not record it but the whole week? So we came here and we recorded it from Monday till Friday, all the orchestrations and all the songs. And then I added my voice on some here, but for the most part in Paris. So it really is, yes, a co-production between the two countries. But I'm happy that it was here in the end, because Serge was Slav. So somehow we're nearly touching Russia. We're touching the Jewish, sentimental and Romanesque side of Serge Gainsbourg's character. And maybe it was exactly where we should have recorded it, was here in Poland.
And it's not a new idea to show how classical music and music of Serge Gainsbourg is connected. A few years ago, there was also in Warsaw a concert, Chopin inspires Gainsbourg.
He loved Chopin, and on his little desk where he worked every day, he had Chopin's hand in a sculpture, and also his face, because he had his photo. So every day he used to look at him. So he was indeed a great influence. And when I sang Je t'aime non plus, that famous record, the B-side was Jane B, Prelude by Chopin, and I'll be singing it this afternoon.
One of Polish journalists, when he presented in newspaper your new album, has written that you put Serge Gainsbourg in a frock coat. Are you agree?
I do agree, but he looks very good in a frock coat. It's very beautiful.
Like a noble man?
Yes, indeed. And I was pleased because in England, where they've taken him fairly seriously, but not really, it was nice to see them take their hats off to him. And maybe it was because of the classical music and this record, because it was with the symphony orchestra, and because they realized what a culture he had, and that he loved classical music and he knew all about it. And so suddenly he became someone to be, yes, respected and understood at last.
How international audience reacts with this album?
Very, very well. We've come back from Hong Kong, where I sang the whole album, of course, with their Philharmonic Orchestra. And
it's 21 songs, yes?
Yes, 21 or even 22. What's really beautiful, and it's not on this record, but if ever this record makes a lot of money, I'll be able to print it again and use 6 minutes of something that Nobuyuki Nakajima wrote, which is a medley of Je t'aime non plus, initials BB, Khachaturian, and a wonderful thing called the Turkish market, which he did, and it's 6 minutes, and it was too long to put on a LP. But I think if we print it again, I'll take off one of my songs and put that one on, because then you hear this wonderful orchestra, your orchestra, doing all these songs that people know from Serge, and I'm not singing on it, and it's quite beautiful.
Do you think about a new project with Serge music, or something very, very new, not connected with this?
Well, for the moment, this has just come out, so that's why I'm doing all the promotion all around the world, and it's taking me absolutely everywhere, which is quite wonderful. And so I think probably, given that everybody wants us to sing live, I think probably for the next 2 years this is what I'll be doing, which is a lovely escape. What better thing than to escape this way?
Do you think that this music now is very actual, universal, with
strangely, yes, because on this record I've noticed that maybe because it's with a classical orchestra, suddenly it's more accessible maybe than when it's just francophone songs. You don't even have to speak French to like this record because of the beauty of the music and the musicians. So it's taken it very far. So of course we'll go to Japan and etc., but also South Korea and also Jakarta and also all sorts of very foreign lands. And I think it's because it's with this orchestra.
And I think that this is the album about accept the past, accept what is going now, to take life like it is.
You should always take life as it is, but sometimes you can make it better.
Jane Birkin była gościem Poranka Dwójki. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you.